Hey, it's your girl Claudia. Jordan, we're here to spill the tea and break
the aggressive tea.
Did I miss something? I'm always the latest one to the party. What happened?
We're here to spill the tea. Break down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. Relax and get ready for this hot tea. What's up, Al? And what's up, Q?
How you doing, Claudia?
Al, I just was like, it's real aggressive like that. Our cues, I'm just like, oh, we ready to.
Oh, yeah.
A little jarring. But yeah.
The new guy. Well, he's not new, right?
That's my boy right there.
Mikael, we love you. We're laughing because the count that Claudia said offline, y'all, the countdown is real aggressive. So just
together.
Just laughing.
I have a migraine. I've had a migraine for 2 days. And so I'm going to have a little giggle today. I'm struggling right now. So were y'all drinking tonight? What are we doing?
No, I'm drinking. I'm back on some iced tea, iced tea and ice.
What? Okay, Al, wine?
I'm not drinking tonight for the show, but I will be able to drink at 9 p.m. tonight.
Why?
You going on a date?
I want to what?
You going on a date?
No, You know, I had my colonoscopy yesterday. So you're not supposed to drink like 24 hours, a full day after. So
Does the doctor call you and just say, like, check on you to make sure they they say they call you?
Yeah, my follow-up is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
You have to go back in?
No, they call you.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all looking like a little bit fallish with the sweaters today, both of y'all. Yeah?
This is all day.
I couldn't find nothing clean to put on. I don't even think this clean.
Oh my God, funky. Funky, really? Funky, are you funky?
I pulled this out my dry cleaning bag, but I got it on. No.
Don't you hate when you get ready for the show and you put something cute on and they like, that shirt don't work because of the green screen? Because it'd be taking a minute, right? To find something still like that you haven't repeated on the show. All right, let's get into the show. We have an update on Dwight Howard. Earlier this week, he spoke to Angela Yee about the rumors that are currently surrounding his personal life. Dwight said in the interview that when it comes to his personal life, he doesn't speak on it in public, and that's all the gay rumors are, a part of a negative conspiracy to assassinate his character. Now, Dwight was recently in the news after another man accused him of alleged sexual assault, and his baby mother, Royce Reed, called him a deadbeat dad. What do y'all think about Dwight's response? And do you think he's like that? Like, we got to have a conspiracy against Dwight Howard? Is there a conspiracy against Dwight Howard, Al?
Absolutely not. Oh, absolutely not. Get out of here with that assassinating his character. What it is, though, it is an assassination that could lead to his career. Now, that I can agree to. Now, there are two things here. One is I can't speak to whether he's a good dad or not. Royce has complained that he hasn't. He has other kids that we haven't heard any complaints from those mothers saying that he's a bad dad. So I can't speak on that. What I can speak on is I can have empathy with Dwight about discussing his sexuality and what's going on in his bed because he's a Black man and he's a professional athlete. And that's how he feeds himself, and that's how he feeds all those kids. That's how he helps his family out. Unfortunately, in professional sports, guys, and I mean the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB, you just simply cannot be publicly gay. Of all of these professional organizations, you're telling me those are hundreds of athletes that none of them are gay? I don't believe it. I think none of them are publicly gay. And in order for him to protect his career and his life and his livelihood, then he can ask for privacy as it relates to that. But other than that, there's no assassination of a character. We know what's really going on, Dwight.
A lot has changed in the last few years too. Like I remember an NFL player years ago. Remember there was rumors about Kerry Rose. There was a bunch of pictures with him and a guy named Hollywood. Who's now Shannon Sharp's professional stylist. And when he came out,
and you saw how that ruined his career, though. Remember?
Yeah, it did. I know that because he was still actually he was still a good player. And he was with the Cardinals. But I think since then it's been a little bit more accepting. I know we're not all the way there though. Dwight, you're gonna keep getting these rumors because people, people are going to use your sexuality against you, unfortunately. Q, what do you think about this story? And do you think about, the conspiracy theory about him? What do you think?
You know what? People always say one thing too much, they give themselves away. I was 100% able to get behind the I don't discuss my sexuality or my sex life or whatever publicly. I was 100% able to get between that. And for those that know, that was his way of saying read between the lines. Mm-hmm. But when he added the extra piece about the gay stuff is trying to assassinate his character, that's where you went wrong. That's where people get upset. That's where members of the LGBTQ community get upset. That's what gives people ammunition to spray you with your own tea. And in this moment right here, I am not going to say allegedly. I have physically seen with my own two eyes correspondence between Dwight Howard and a trans friend of mine, an exchanging of pictures. I have seen it with my own two eyes. So come on and sue me, because I ain't saying allegedly. I seen it, all right? And everybody already knows. Like the girls in the community know. And your tea has spilled out into the general public. Again, I can't force this man out the closet. I don't know what his beliefs are. But Dwight, the fact that you've had a warm or soft outing already lays the foundation, brother, for you to go ahead and go to therapy and come on ahead and do the full reveal. So
is it fair to say, I want to understand it, because he could have just left it alone, like, just keep my business, I want to keep my sexuality to myself and my business to myself. But when he said, this is assassinating my character, well, we know damn well you're really doing it, because now it's like, oh, this is an insult for you to be in our community that you want to keep your tea.
Exactly. And then people now know that they can leverage that against you. Mm-hmm. If case in point, if Al went to a bar tonight or hooked up with a man and they had sex and the man took pictures, that man couldn't leverage that against Al, because it's like, it ain't no tea. Mm-hmm. Or Malik Yoba. If we see Malik Yoba right now walking down the street with a trans woman kissing her in the mouth, them pictures wouldn't sell for 50 cents.
Yep.
Because he's already let it be known. You know what I'm saying? So
it sounds like me to Dwight Howard, if you're watching, and I think you are, keep it cute. You can say it's none of your business, but then leave, period. But then don't throw a jab at the community that we know you're a part of, okay? And make it seem like you want to distance yourself, and then expect the community to keep your secrets. Is that fair to say? Yeah. All right. Dwight, come on the show, Dwight. Come bring those big old shoulders and them Cynthia Bailey cheekbones to TGIF. That's what they call them in the chat. All right, y'all. The debate continues among cisgender and transgender women. Comedian Flame Monroe shared his thoughts and threw some major shade towards Pose actress Angelica Ross after she got into a social media argument with Just Hilarious. Take a look.
When Just Hilarious addressed her, she was talking about periods and womanhood. She also said that women could never have periods, and I just was not attacking the entire trans community. I didn't even take it like that. She was speaking to the person who publicly put out that statement. That's who she was talking to.
All right, what are your thoughts on Flame Monroe's response? Just had, real quick, previously expressed her thoughts on a trans woman's post that raised a question of who, owns womanhood, specifically the ability to have period, and Angelica Ross responded with insults and DM receipts. Q?
The clip that we saw, if it was taken singularly, Flame Monroe said absolutely nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of truth and a lot of the things that Flame Monroe had to say in her video. However, there was a tone in this video and a level of nastiness towards Angelica that I think was just unwarranted. And, there's something very peculiar, in my opinion, about Flame and Al Sharpton says it best: just because you're my color doesn't make you my kind. And I get that Flame is older than a lot of the LGBT community now, and he probably comes from a generation where assimilation was his best means of surviving. But Flames has a way of pandering, in my opinion, sometimes to the straights for straight acceptance, uses a lot of the bigoted, in my opinion, straight people talking points to be able to continue to sit at the straight table. And there were just, I don't know, I pick up on that theme from time to time with a lot of the interviews and videos that Flame does. But there were bits and pieces of what Flame said that were 100% true.
Okay. Al, what do you think?
I'm so glad you said that, Q, because in my opinion, Flame Monroe, it seems like in this situation, and I see we called her, isn't Flame Monroe a transgender female? So is she a she or a he? I'm
not sure.
It gets slightly confusing because Flame refers to other trans women as he, and you a nigga, and you a boy, and so on and so forth. So I don't know what.
Okay. So in this case, I feel like I usually rock with Flame Monroe because some of the things that Flame Monroe says, it's spot on to me sometimes. But in this case, I'm like, Q, this kind of felt like he or she was injecting himself into this conversation. It wasn't pointed towards Flame Monroe, but Flame Monroe kind of jumped into the conversation. That to me made it feel kind of a little weird in clout chasing. And it also felt like it created more of a division and instead of an inclusion. Now, I'm also glad that Q mentioned this because I wanted to know, where did this whole concept come? Because people say that Flame Monroe is to the trans community what Candace Owens is to the Black community. So was that kind of what you were saying, Q, earlier?
That's a perfect analogy.
Got it.
That's a perfect analogy. I think, yeah.
I just feel like this could have been an opportunity that we use as a bridge instead of a division. I feel like we could have used this conversation to kind of bring people together than to divide them. And I just feel like anybody that's throwing gasoline on a fire to divide people is never a good conversation.
If I remember correctly, and I have a headache from this, I swear, I cannot wait till we get to a point where we don't even have to cover this anymore. I hope we get to some peace soon. That there was a warning first between Flame and Angelica where she said, don't say anything else or I'm gonna spill your tea. And then Angelica said one more thing, and then Flame took to her live and went in. I think it became personal because Jess made her comments, then Angelica jumped in, then Flame jumped in, and everyone's just jumping in now. And now we're far away from the original transgender women that did all this shit to me to be controversial and get the shit started, get us all arguing. And we don't even know the transgender girl's name that started this period shit, right? We talk about everybody but her, and she's the one I feel like came in there, threw some rocks, got everybody riled up, and then it got divisive as hell all week. And now it's just like we have these secondary and extra arguments. I agree with some of the stuff that Flame said, and maybe I'm supposed to because like y'all saying, she's pandering to the straight community. One thing I will say that I did like was Flame seemed very respectful to women. And that's something that I feel like we've been missing in the last few months. We talked on our DM about this. And you know what, maybe we'll invite her on the show. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
No, we won't.
Well, sometimes we have to have conversations with people we don't agree with.
No, not with the way she's unsolicitedly gone after me. And said,
oh, has she?
She won't be on this one.
What do you mean she went after you?
Oh, there's videos of her going in and saying all types of stuff. I'm on meth and all type of stuff that was just unsolicited. She won't be on this one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Nene Leaks spoke with Carlos King and openly discussed her son's recent arrest. Let's take a look.
He has an addiction. He's been struggling with it for years. He's been in rehab for a couple times, and he still have come back out and relapsed. As a mom, just to watch it my hands are tied.
All right, what are your thoughts? Just a note, Nene's son, Bryson, was arrested last week for felony drug possession. Al?
You know, this is the Lenithia that I rock with every day, and this is why we love Lenithia. I like this for Nene. She was honest, she was forthright, she was vulnerable. You know, I know this family intimately, and she's right. I've seen this woman do everything she possibly can for Brent. She's purchased him house, she's helped him get cars, she's helped her son so much in dealing with this. I'm glad she's getting to the point where everyone is telling her that, listen, he's got to want it for himself. And in all reality, your child's addiction does not have anything to do with you. And I think that she's getting to the point where she's feeling comfortable, and that she is also ready to allow Bryce to take this journey the way he's supposed to take it. So thumbs up for Nene for sharing and for being so honest and forthright.
Miss Kellyanne said the whole interview. I love the whole interview. Can't wait for part 2. Q, what are your thoughts on the interview?
You know what? Y'all always hear me say, never let a bitch spray you with your own tea. This is a prime example of what I'm talking about, right? Because although Al says she may be getting comfortable with Bryce taking his journey on his own, and I'm not a parent, but I'm going out on a limb here and saying, I am pretty sure when his drug and addiction issues first hit the internet, she was embarrassed. Anyone would be, if your offspring has gotten into some of the stuff that Bryson has gotten into. And what I like about what Nene did is she took her power back. She not finna let y'all crack jokes and make memes and it hurt, because I'm not hiding anything. My son has a drug addiction. I've tried to help him. These are the things that I've gone through. My hands are tied. So now when she gets in an argument, a reality TV style argument, and the girls be like, that's why your son on drugs. Girl, that ain't no tea. I've been sharing that with y'all. That ain't no tea. That don't hurt. Check my interview with Carlos King.
Rosemary Watson said, you can be the best parent in the world and still end up with a fool. Nene should have made him earn his way. Yeah, I said this before, that he's a grown man. It's not her responsibility or her fault if he has a problem with drug addiction. Like you see, even with the Hunter Biden thing, you see people try to put that on Joe Biden. This is a grown ass man, and people are going to do what they want to do. All you can do is, I'm not a mother, but I can definitely speak on, common sense. You can do the best parenting job in the world. And if they want to make a decision that's, not in their best interest, they're going to do that. Unfortunately, Nene's famous and a former reality star. So people are going to try to attach that to her, but it's not her fault. And take the bull by the horns, address it, and power taken back. I agree with you guys. All right, coming up next, we got some crazy news coming out of the state of Florida. And later, Terry Crews talks about his porn addiction. Oh, wow, Terry, really? Stay tuned. Welcome back to TGIF. Don't forget to hit that like button in the live chat. All right, y'all. Whether good, bad, ugly, or just plain dumb, the tea is always overflowing with crazy news stories out of the state of Florida. And that's why we are giving you the 411 in What the Florida. In Florida news, a Miami-Dade police director, 52-year-old Alfredo Freddy Ramirez III, was in critical condition after shooting himself in the head following a domestic dispute between him and his wife. Now, reports said that Ramirez left his Tampa hotel where he was attending a conference and shot himself after pulling over on the highway. It's reported that he is now in recovery and his condition is stable. Funky, how do you feel about this and your peoples?
It's the wife's fault. They Latin and she put some Santeria on him. Okay.
No,
Listen, y'all, this is a very sad case. And, what's even more sad about it, so first of all, how I feel about it, I feel like we should throw away all charges against this man, against his credit report, because clearly he needs to plead insanity. What's unfortunate about this situation is that this man, for lack of a better term, he's a fairly good-looking, handsome gentleman. And the bullet went in through his mouth and out one of his eyes. And so, you went from being distraught emotionally over whatever you were going through with your wife to now you're going to be disabled and disfigured. And I imagine the depression that's going to come along with that is going to be far worse than whatever pain you were feeling from your wife. And by virtue of the fact that he was willing to shoot himself over some Spanish coochie, I think that this man is insane and we just need to drop all charges and let him.
Well, Q, unfortunately, we can't do that. Let me tell you the interesting thing about this story. So he was outside of his hotel room arguing with his wife while pointing the gun at his head. So at the hotel, the reason
That's crazy.
The reason why he and his wife were arguing was because he had threatened to kill himself at the hotel. Now, when the police arrived, he put the gun away. He apologized. The wife said that everything was okay. She's not in danger. The police left. He got in his car. He got on the highway and he called his boss, the mayor of Miami-Dade, and told his boss that he wants to offer his resignation because he made a big moral mistake. And then that's after he got off the phone with the mayor of Miami-Dade, he pulled over and he shot himself in the head. So we're going to synthesize here that we're going to find out in the next couple of days what that big mistake was. And I can't wait to see it, because the sad part is he thought that he was getting out of facing that big mistake. Now he's got to face that big mistake in an ambulatory care state.
Imagine you thought you had problems already, then you go do something like this, and then you're still here. You didn't take yourself out, and now you got to deal with this on top of the issues you had already. And
you disfigured, and you see out of one eye, and disability is only about $625 a month. So I don't know how you're gonna live off of that. And if you get discharged dishonorably from the police station, you don't get your pension. So life about to get real hard, and that woman still about to leave you, because not only does she not want a crazy husband, she damn sure don't want a blind one.
And now you missing an eye.
You got eyes, but they not for me. You better use them for what they for, and that's to see. I got a man. What your man got to do?
Epic Jackson said, I'm going to call Q Stretch Armstrong the way he be stretching, trying to defend those backward ass Floridians.
Listen, I'm a public defender, all right? I only make $40,000 a year, and I'm trying to do the best I can with what I got. Work with me, Ebony.
All right, another Florida news. A jury awarded $800,000 in damages to an 8-year-old girl who suffered second-degree burns from a McDonald's chicken nugget. Olivia Carballo was severely burned after dropping a hot chicken nugget, in her parents' car, causing it to be wedged between Olivia's leg and her car seat for 2 minutes. What are your thoughts on this case? Q, let me get.
Well,
2 minutes.
It's a lot going on. But see, y'all Negroes love going to McDonald's talking about, can I get a number 3 made fresh? And then y'all think y'all be giving trade secrets. Tell them no salt on the fries. You can get your fries extra hot. Now, I didn't even know chicken nuggets made out of paper mache could even get that damn hot. All right, like by the time they dump it, scoop it, put it in the thing, put that in the bag, hand it through the window, it would seem to me, even at its hottest, that chicken nugget would not be that damn hot. I mean, I have personally taken fried chicken wings straight out of the damn grease and bit into them, and yeah, it's burnt the roof of my mouth, but I don't think it get that doggone hot to burn somebody. So I'm less concerned with the little girl being burnt. I'm sorry that she did, and more concerned with what the hell they making them damn chicken nuggets out of, that they can get that goddamn hot and not burn and or disintegrate. But I will say,
you don't want to look at a chicken. You don't want to look at a chicken McNugget under a microscope. Okay, all my McDonald's eaters and McDonald's sponsors, so I can say this: get you a chicken McNugget and look at it under a microscope. You'll never eat it again.
I was just going to say this too, really quickly, and I hate it. It's a child. Y'all get mad and bite me, but baby, for that little bitty ass burn, bitch, you sure got one hell of a payday. Like. Shit, drop one on my leg for $800,000.
Well, look, you know what? She originally asked for $15 million. So the courts decided $400,000 for the past 4 years of your pain, and we're going to give you $400,000 for the future years of your pain. I'm kind of torn on this one, Claudia and Q, because, when I think about McDonald's, they go through so much because people think McDonald's is this huge corporation, international corporation, worth millions and millions, if not billions of dollars. However, the McDonald's that is in your neighborhood that is a franchise. That is an entrepreneur. That is a person that is using the likeness of that brand in order to create jobs and to feed your community. So they're not making millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're just like the rest of us out here hustling. So I just kind of feel bad that this particular franchisees may have to go into bankruptcy because of this incident. It's just sad. It's sad all around.
All right. I guess I'm frozen my picture, but I can hear y'all. So I'll just keep reading. Just go to show them. A Florida man allegedly cut off his GPS ankle monitor and was rearrested just 1 day after being released from a 9-year prison sentence. Now, the police found 29-year-old Albert Gardner after locating his ankle monitor in a trash can in front of a 7-Eleven store. The police later found the suspect overdosing in a nearby apartment complex. What are your thoughts on this? Real quick, Albert survived the overdose and was transported safely back to jail. You look a mess. Can we see his picture one more time?
Listen, child, we might as well go on the damn commercial break because I can't defend this shit right here. Okay, I don't even know what the hell this is up on my doggone screen. Listen, this is how you know drugs. Listen, the state of Florida rests this case on this. I ain't got no defense. I mean, you got.
I'll give you the defense.
Oh, go ahead, Al.
Okay, so your crazy ass governor recently in legislation increased the occupancy and capacity rule for the prisons in the state of Florida. It used to be that if you got to a capacity of 98%, that you would then that you would have to be concerned about letting people out. Because he changed that legislation, he's putting people like this back out into the street because of, quote, a capacity issue. So this guy, if you look at him, you would know that he doesn't belong outside with normal people outside of a prison or jail at any time. And look what happened when the legislation allowed him to be put back out there. Within a day, he's back in there. Make it make sense, Florida. Please make it make sense, DeSantis.
But at least the universe auto-corrected the situation. It said, clerical error, we let you out. I need to put your ass back in here on Tuesday.
You go back to jail, right?
Back to jail. He gonna put the doggone thing in the 7-Eleven. And it's just so funny because I was gonna say addiction is one hell of a thing that you would think that if people being in jail that long, that would give them a time to purge their system and quit cold turkey. And the minute you got out, you had to go get you some drugs. Summer Rain said they could tell that he didn't need to be released early. Why put him on an ankle monitor? And then Janice Penny says he should be in jail based on looks alone. I agree. They say we should never judge a book by its cover, but his ass should be in jail on looks alone. All right, y'all, coming up next, Terry Crews gets real about addiction, and later we find out what Keke Palmer had to say about her sexuality. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to TGIF. No, I do not have cricket. I'm not on dial-up, y'all. I'm in Texas. It's 105 degrees, and I think it's messing with our electronics. I'm just going to put it on that, y'all. Sorry, y'all. All right. Hey, life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should paydays? The money you earn can be in your hands today with Earnin. Earnin is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the Earnin app and verify your paycheck, then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. Now, if I needed something like Earnin, it's what I'd use, and this is why. You make Earnin a part of your financial routine and join Earnin's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about Earnin, I think about financial stability, security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. Now, download Earnin today, spelled EARNIN, in Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the Earnin app, type in T under podcast. And when you sign up, it'll really help the show. That's T under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. That's terms of service. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. Now, one of y'all got something nice to say about this, don't you?
Let me tell you something. Earn In can go ahead and sign in, okay, and sign me up. I am all for making every day a payday. So Earn In has definitely got my attention. And I think that y'all, if y'all like me and y'all love to go shopping and y'all like for y'all stuff to be all steady and your money to be all fluffy in your account, and you can make every day a payday, you might want to fool up with Earn In.
Well, I'm looking at the soulmates. The chat, Randy Milan says, I've used it before in a pinch. So we've got some endorsements in the chat as well. Promotional considerations are furnished by Earnin. Now let's get back to some more topics. Actor Terry Crews recently discussed how his porn addiction affected his relationship with his wife and kids. Now, Terry revealed he would purposely start an argument with his wife so she wouldn't ask questions, and he would get angry at his kids for getting in the way. Terry said he was exposed to porn at 8 years old, and he grew up in an ultra-religious household with an abusive father. What are your thoughts on Terry talking about his porn addiction, Al?
You know what? Let me tell you what's so interesting. He said that he started his porn addiction at 8 years old. Do you know that's also when Kurt Franklin said that that's the age that he started his porn addiction? Something that I also thought was very interesting is this parallel between super strict religious households and sexuality. Other stars, Black celebrities that have also said that they've had porn addictions are Kanye West, Jada Pinkett Smith, Terry Crews, Kurt Franklin, and who's the other one? Tiger Woods. I just find it very interesting. I think it's a little bit more than just a porn addiction. I think porn is a bridge to something else, and I think no one's really talking about it. What are you guys' thoughts?
Key, what you think?
You know what? I need to really sit down and get better educated around what the word addiction truly means, because there are certain things that are easy for me to process: drugs, alcohol. Most recently, I've come to kind of understand gambling addictions. I'd like to understand the physical practice of a porn addiction. Is it like I'm trying to rush everybody out of my house so I can run in my room and pleasure myself? I would like to see what a porn addiction looks like. But I got two things to say, right? One, I did dislike a lot of the comments and commentary around this Terry Crews thing, because a lot of people were like, and this right here is why it's so hard for Black men to open up and be vulnerable, because Terry has received a lot of negative backlash. But the second thing that I want to say is it me? Or do y'all just find it hard to give a fuck about Terry Crews? I just find it challenging to even give a damn. And then it's funny because it's like every 6 months, he got all the traumas. Okay, he was molested, he was touched, now he got porn. The next thing, the bitch gonna come out and say he got autism, and then after that, he gonna have rheumatoid arthritis. Terry, I'm gonna need you to leave some of the conditions to somebody else in Hollywood. Let somebody else have a chance to do an interview about having a condition before you beat them to the punch.
It's weird because it seemed like he was beloved, and all of a sudden a few things came out, and then people were just totally the Black community was kind of turned out by him. And I know there was a thing with, him and Gabrielle Union they bumped heads, right? And then there was some stuff with ABC and NBC. And it seemed like he went from, we cool on him, to people did not really rock with him.
I think it's one of those vestiges of slavery, Claudia. I think it's one of those vestiges of slavery, the psychological thing that happens with Black people when we think you are on master's side. And I think that's kind of what it is with Terry Crews. It's kind of like you would go back and tell Master we planning to run away. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I feel kind of like I don't really gel with him.
Remember, it was Gabrielle was saying she had abuse claims on the show they were on, and then he was like, "Well, that wasn't my experience." And then it seemed like it's been all bad with the community with him, right?
Because you ran in short to defend the white folks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that type of makes us uncomfortable.
Right. The real Ariando said, "I feel bad because even though porn is normal for some, he really doesn't want to be in it." Leslie Kay said, "A lot of men are addicted to porn. A lot of people." And Darius Daniel said, "Why the fuck is he sharing this?" And Pretty Boy Will said the same thing I just said. After he dismissed Gabrielle Union, it was a wrap. All right, keep it locked, because coming up next, a couple faces 49 counts of child abuse, and later see what has us saying Not me, girl. No, I can't say it like Funky. How's a saying what now?
Not me, girl.
Keep it here. We'll be right back. Welcome back to TGIF. Hey, y'all, I was telling the fellas on break, I'm having a migraine attack right now as we speak. So I'm like a little bit, my vision's squirrely and I'm like nauseous. If y'all get any remedies for migraines in the chat, please throw them in the chat because it is an issue. And Q, you don't get them, but Al, you don't get them? Wait, do you get them? You don't get them? I do not wish this on my worst enemy. Please give me your remedies. I need them. All right, y'all. Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband, Peter Thomas, is in the news after several of his employees have come forward claiming he owes them thousands of dollars. The Department of Labor has now stepped in to investigate the claims at Peter's Bar One Miami location. What do you think is going on with Peter? I know last time we reported on this, Peter, we're going to be fair to you, of course, you are a friend of the show. I think you were still friends. Q, what do you think of the story?
You know how sometimes you just don't want to be bothered with some shit because you just have to deal with the fallout. This is one of those situations because I do frequent Bar One. Yeah, I am, associates of Peter's, and I do have to see him. And I've mauled over this point with friends of mine over the phone on what to do when I came to this crossroads. And
we have been pushing it off for a while.
We have. Here it is, and I have to be fair. Friend or no friend, or I'll just speak directly to Peter. Peter, by no stretch of the imagination do I want to see your businesses doing well. I don't claim to know the truth and the ins and outs about the running of all of your businesses. And no, I have not taken the chance to call you as you suggested we should have done the last time, because I don't know how that phone call would go in this moment. Hey, Peter, I'm just calling you because we got a couple on the show tonight. All your business is closing down. And the people said you're not paying them and you being covered by the labor board. What you want to, what can we say? I can see you either not taking the call or cussing me out. So I don't know what to do. Here's what I will say. In knowing that I don't know what's going on, I am smart enough to realize, Peter, that something is going on, all right? Something is going on. Something is not right. And there may be a justifiable reason for all of it, but something is not right. And I just hope that you can make it right. And that if these people have not been paid and that there is truth to it, that you find it a way to make them whole. And I think that's the fairest commentary I can give on this without skirting around the topic.
Go ahead, Al.
You know what? To me, Peter is like an OG. And in my mind, Peter is a serial entrepreneur, and serial entrepreneurs, some of them, a lot of them have these issues. They have a lot of money. It's funny issues, but I do want those employees to get paid. Now, I'm only going to talk about what the Shade Room has reported. And in this case, this is what we know, y'all. He's going to do what he do, and he's going to keep it moving. He's going to still be around. He's still going to have a restaurant or two. He's still going to be opening them. He's still going to be entertaining us. He's still going to be an entrepreneur and a small business owner. All I can say, and in this particular case, is that the Shade Room has shown a whole bunch of receipts, documents, phone calls, and it's not looking good. But at the end of the day, if you've had a business, have run business, and he's been doing this for 30 years, you're going to have some hiccups. Now, hiccups that continue to hiccup is something that maybe you should seek other people, like I've said before, to help you where your shortcomings are. Some serial entrepreneurs are really good at being concept driven, right? They love entertaining. They love opening restaurants. They're not good with the finances. Find somebody good at the finances so that you don't end up in this situation moving forward. I think that is an amicable solution.
Agree. Listen, we all know that's one of the most difficult businesses you can be in is the restaurant and bar business. That is a tough business to be in. And maybe it's time to take on some more partners to help him with this in his areas where he's weak, because we've heard these allegations for a really long time. And yes, you are, known from reality, also a former reality star. So people are going to jump on it when we hear your name in something. It's easier to spray you and talk about your business because we know who you are because of your show. But, a lot of people have been saying this for a long time. Lynette Jackson said, Peter doesn't pay his employees their credit card tips. My friend works for him, allegedly. And Eve Beline 19 said, give Peter his peach so we can get the real tea. And Jamie Morrison Mason said, why would anyone work for Peter Thomas at this point? Well, I will say this, as long as we've heard about this, he does always find a way to come out of it.
Yeah.
He does find a way to get out of it. And he figures out a way. So it can't be all bad. And people continue to work for him. Peter, if you mad, come on the show. We'll talk all about it and give you, is that okay? Y'all cool with him being on the show? Funky.
Come on.
Okay. Peter, we're inviting you on the show so you can tell your own tea, because this is the second or third time we've talked about you. And I'd rather you have the opportunity to, to clear anything you like to clear up. We, as a friend of the show, we can definitely offer you that. I think that's fair. All right, y'all. A Las Vegas couple was charged with 49 felonies of child abuse. 31-year-old Travis Doss and his pregnant wife, 33-year-old Amanda Stamper, abused 6 children by locking them in cages and severely beating them. The police discovered the 6 children in the couple's apartment after Amanda called and alleged that her husband, Travis, threatened to kill her. What are your thoughts? Amanda, go ahead.
This is sad. I'm one of those people that my brain, I love when I watch things like this in the true crime docuseries format, because I want to know what happened to them to make their minds be able to go to the places that they've gone, putting the children in cages, kicking the children in the head, abusing all of the children. I'm so fascinated as to know, what does the monster get out of doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have much rather you lock the damn kids outside and not let them inside, but you putting them in cages and torturing them day in and day out. It takes a whole lot of energy to do that. And I'm just fascinated as to what would make someone do that. I'm glad that these children have made it somewhere safe. And his ass needs the death penalty, and she do too.
A note, Amanda claimed that she was his sex worker and the couple was arrested and pleaded not guilty. Al, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm not fascinated by any of this. I'm not fascinated by his mind. I think he should be put under the jail. He did it in the right state, though. The state of Nevada does not mess around about their kids. How do you have 6 children? I'm just pissed at everybody. You have 6 children. Why are you putting that child in a dog cage? Did you guys see that? That made me so upset to watch that kid. That doctor that treated that kid said if that kid had not gotten to him in the next 24 hours, he would have died. That's how malnutrition he was. And why was he in the cage? Because his dad said that he was sneaking the refrigerator as well as sneaking the trash can to get food because he was hungry. How dare you treat a child like that? And then where's the mother? Where's the grandmother? Where's the family? Where's the uncle? Where's the aunt? Where's this kid's family? What is going on? I think all of them need to be put on trial. This is unacceptable to me. You cannot treat a young child like that, like an animal, and put him in a cage. He didn't have any bathroom. He didn't have any food. He didn't have any water. Who does that? And then the nurse that serviced the rest of the kids said that they haven't seen abuse like this in almost 15 years. This is disgusting. They need to go straight to jail. They don't even need to go to court. They don't need a court hearing. They don't need a court date. They need to go straight to jail.
I understand that hurt people. They make an argument that they were abused too. But you know what? We all know what our issues are, right? And at some point in your adulthood, part of being an adult is recognizing I've been through some things and I need to maybe get some help for myself so I don't hurt other people. And, with all the people out here that want to have children and have struggles with fertility and getting pregnant and adoption, here you are with 6 kids and you're abusing them to the point of them almost dying. And it's horrific. And I definitely hope they get very, 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 very long sentences. Erica Sally said, twisted cycle of verbal, emotional, and physical abuse, probably from childhood. And this is how trauma shows up. It's sick as hell. And Mark hit him said, power, you abuse a vulnerable being that makes him feel powerful. It's disgusting. All right. Keke Palmer recently appeared on Raven Simone's podcast where she openly discussed finding her sexuality. Keke said that she didn't live out experiences because she kept her sexuality a secret from her family. She said, because I liked guys too, I was kind of like, well, we don't have to talk about it. What are your thoughts, Q?
The nuance of the luxury that she had, she's absolutely right. Because she did like guys, she was able to just hide and ride out behind that. And I thought about this earlier today when I was laying in bed going over the stories. There are a lot of y'all who say things like, I don't understand why people have to talk about their sexuality. I don't understand what goes on in your bedroom is none of our business. I just wish everybody would stop talking about it. And I want to offer you this. Sexuality is not just what happens in your bedroom, but it is a large part of your identity, and it is a large part of how people relate and treat you in the world. A lot of times, hetero people, because you don't deal with the nuance of being non-hetero, you guys don't understand it. But let me put it in perspective for you why it is important for people to know your sexuality. Claudia, you would be uncomfortable as hell if I was a woman and I started hitting on you. You'd be uncomfortable. If I was like, oh, you look good. Why? Because you're straight. And that's why it's important for people to know that. The same exists in the opposite. When I'm in an all-male environment sometimes, I don't want you trying to hook me up with your sister. I don't want you trying to hook me up with your cousin. I don't want you hitting me on the shoulder and be like, damn, dog, ain't that bitch fine? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sexuality goes beyond what goes on in people's bedroom. It's a part of our identity, and it helps shape the way we interact with people. And that is why it is important that people know where you are sexual as far as sexuality. And that's all I got to offer this conversation.
Al, we're gonna take a quick break. You want to comment when we get back after the break, or?
Sure, I can comment after the break.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, Al, before we went to break, real quick, did you have something about the Keke?
Yeah, you know what I thought was very interesting, Claudia, was that, you know, after coming off of that whole thing with her boyfriend and the Usher thing, where she got a lot of support from women, when I read the comments in the shade room after this post, they were not very nice to Keke. So Keke, you might be talking too much lately. So I would pipe it down a little bit, because the shade room their responses were not very supportive of her and her thinking.
Keke, come on the show. We'll talk. All right. Listen, we hear crazy stories pretty much every day that got us saying,
not me, girl. Not me, girl.
All right, let me get your thoughts on this. A woman who was claiming to be a virgin at 30 years old is encouraging other 30-plus virgins not to be embarrassed. Nia Cerise Conta says she's still a virgin after being promiscuous before and doing everything but intercourse. Uh-oh, you know what that means. Are you here for the late bloomers, or is it a not me girl? Let's start with you, Al. Chime in, soulmate.
It depends. Okay, in this case, like she said, she practiced Ayani. So Ayani is like a sexual, non-vaginal sex in the Hindu culture, where you do anal, oral, you do manual, and you do masturbation. So if it was somebody like her, yes, I could rock with if she was a virgin, because she knows how to do everything else. But if she's a virgin across the board, never done anything, probably not for me. I'm a little too freaky. I need you to know what goes where and what you need to lick and what you need to do. And I ain't got time to teach nobody all of that and get you comfortable. So for me, if she's how she is, yes. If she's like a regular, never had any sexual experience, that would be a not me girl for me.
I never understood how virgins are a virgin, but you done took it in the ass, you're sucking dick.
She a hoe.
Like, come on, like that's advanced. That's like you do the regular, you do virgin vaginal sex first, and then you do the advanced.
She a whole one. And y'all can bash me in the car. He called her a black woman. She a whole hoe. Okay, promiscuous. Didn't want to sit up here and get extra cool points because you didn't take it up the coochie. You might as well have. You might as well have, because if you're doing it for religious purposes, I can assure you God is not pleased. All right. Sex blanketed all of that. The mouth, the hole, the belly button, between your toes, between your titties, all that sex. As far as I'm concerned, the minute you take your clothes off and start kissing and touching on somebody, that is sex. The innocence is gone.
Now, Nia's boyfriend, who's not a virgin, supports her and says it's a blessing to date a virgin. Of course, because you get to do it in her ass and get way more freaky stuff.
Because it's sticking in all her holes.
Holding the vagina out.
And I'm sorry, as somebody who has taken it up the ass before, like Claudia said, taking it up the ass is far more advanced than taking it in the hoo-ha.
Well,
Okay, Q, the sports world was going crazy after professional soccer player Keely Yang, I don't know how to say that, was offered a contract to play for over $700 million. This lucrative deal could have made the 29-year-old the richest active sports athlete in the world. However, it was reported that Keely rejected that offer. Q, what say you? If you
Not me, girl. Let me tell you something. The way my bill's set up, the way this rent set up in Miami, I mean, listen, obviously he's got an agent, and his agent has got to be smart as hell to turn down that type of money. They must know that he's able to get more. But it would, I would have took the doggone money.
Right, I would have played there for a year too. All right, guys, I want to thank my co-hosts, Funky Dineva and Claudia, for joining us tonight. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Stay tuned for The Rising. See you tomorrow, soulmates and TGI fans. Have a good night.
Bye, soulmates.
My computer got a migraine too.